Welcome to this training for the Taser X26P conducted electrical weapon. This training is a production of the Notre College Police Department Training Division. Worldwide, the impact of Taser technology cannot be ignored. When law enforcement agencies have deployed Taser CEWs at the patrol level, large decreases in injuries to both suspects and to officers have been documented. These large decreases have a snowball effect as the injury reductions affect risk management with decreases in litigation, complaints, and workers' compensation claims. In addition, while the Taser CEW system is not a replacement for deadly force, the fact is that the Taser CEW can often reduce the escalation of force. As we all know, the Taser has a high effectiveness rate in situations where a suspect may be goal-driven, on hard narcotics and/or alcohol, or simply may be impervious to pain. When the Taser CEW stops a suspect in this deadly scenario, deadly force rates trend in a downward progression. This slide and the next slide indicate this risk mitigating effect. The effect of electricity in stimulating a response in excitable tissues is primarily related to the amount of charge delivered. With water, how wet you get depends on how much water gets on you. With electricity, the effects are related to how much electrical charge gets into your body. Because of its pulse nature, including extremely short pulses, the average current from a Taser CEW is less than 4/1000ths of an ampere. That's just a fraction of the more than 15 amperes that can be generated from a standard wall outlet. It compares the electrical energy output of an automated external defibrillator, or AED, which is 360 joules, the amount of electrical energy output that is needed to defibrillate the heart of an infant or small child, which is 2 to 10 joules per kilogram, a kilogram being 2.2 pounds, and the electrical energy output of the Taser X26, which is 1/10 of a joule per pulse. Begs the question, if the Taser CEW output current is so low, how can it be effective in stopping a violent suspect? The answer is because the Taser CEW current does not rely on brute force or on sheer power. Instead, the Taser CEW pulsed output is really an elegant approach to incapacitating violent individuals. The Taser CEW pulses mimic the electrical signals used within the human body to communicate between the brain and the muscles. The Taser CEW stimulates the pulse communications used within the nerves and interferes with communications, sort of like static on a telephone line within the body. Sometimes people will ask, isn't electricity dangerous? The answer is, well, yeah, it can be, but electricity is actually necessary for life. We literally cannot live without it. Stun CEWs to neuromuscular incapacitation was the key breakthrough that led to the global adoption of CEWs. To understand the difference, let's talk briefly about the human nervous system. We can break down the nervous system into three main elements. First, the central nervous system, including the brain and spinal cord, which is the command center. It's where information is processed, decisions are made, and information is stored. The motor nervous system consists of the nerves that go out from the spinal cord and connect to the muscles, controlling muscle movements. These are the nerves that we really want to control to stop aggressive subjects, and that's how NMI systems work. They stimulate these motor nerves, causing uncontrollable muscle contractions that inhibit the subject from being able to perform coordinated movement. The sensory nervous system consists of the nerves that connect to the sensors of the body, the eyes, the ears, the skin, etc., to the brain. Early stun CEWs primarily affected the sensory nervous system. We know this because you can feel their effect, causing distracting sensations, but they didn't stop truly motivated subjects. Models of Taser CEWs which are commonly used by law enforcement today. These models include the newest, the X2, the X26, and the X26P. The X26P, which is the device that's used and is adopted by the Notre College Police Department, is the device which is going to be the topic of this training. CEWs are designed to use propelled wires or direct contact to conduct energy to affect the sensory and/or motor functions of the nervous system. The Taser X26P is a software upgradable CEW manufactured by Taser International Incorporated. Of the Taser X26P conducted electrical weapon being deployed and fired. P is built to survive various types of conditions similar to what you might endure in the field. Conditions such as dust, water, rain, cold, heat, snow, or other types of weather and natural conditions. The X26P is much more resistant to harsh environmental conditions than the older X26. There are similarities with both the X26 and the X2 that also has unique features as well. The X26P is designed for simple operations. It provides safety, trigger, and cartridge operation that's the same as the X26. It downloads device data and firmware updates similar to the manner of the X2, and it utilizes the same power source as the X2. The X26P is designed to be similar in form and function to the X26, and the only main noticeable difference to an X26P user is a slightly different grip and different display in the CID. Overall size to the X26. This slide shows the slight differences in the construction and design of both the X26 and the X26P, and the slight difference in grip and display. Compressed nitrogen to deploy two probes that are attached to the X26P by insulative conductive wires. The X26P is equipped with a single laser to show the approximate impact location of the top dart on the 15-foot, 21-foot, and 25-foot cartridges. The LED flashlight creates illumination 2 times brighter than that of the X26. Similar to the X26 and X2, the trigger is the deployment mechanism for discharging a cartridge. The ambidextrous safety switch is located near the top of the X26P. This is the arming mechanism for the X26P and operates identically to the safety switch on the X2 and X26. The central information display, or CID, is positioned on the back of the X26P and faces the operator. The CID is a single color display and provides the operator with important information about the X26P device. The X26P uses the same power source as the X2, which is the Performance Power Magazine, or PPM. This slide also shows the PPM release button. Located in front of the rear sight is the selector switch, which allows the operator to access the sighting options menu or to place the X26P into stealth mode. The power accessory interface is located in front of the selector switch. The power accessory interface provides contact for future accessories that may be mounted on the X26P device. Identical to that of the X26, with the exception of an X26P equipped with an APPM. Pulling and releasing the trigger discharges the cartridge and initiates a 5-second discharge cycle. The cycle may be extended beyond 5 seconds by keeping the trigger depressed. To stop a discharge cycle, for example in the case of an accidental discharge, shift the safety switch to the down or safe position. Holding the trigger continuously beyond the 5-second cycle will continue the electrical discharge until the trigger is released. In this instance, the discharge will cease once the trigger is released. The optional APPM, or Auto Shutdown Performance Power Magazine, will stop the cycle at 5 seconds even if the trigger is held continuously. The X26P device is identical to the process in an X26. Once the cartridge is fired, the operator can re-energize the cartridge by pulling the trigger. Each trigger pull, when the X26P is not cycling, will initiate another 5-second cycle. Additional trigger pulls during the 5-second cycle will not extend the cycle unless the trigger is held back. 1 to 5 with a single pull of the trigger. If the trigger is held past the 5-second cycle, the display will continue to count up until the trigger is released. If the trigger is pulled a second time, the X26P will start counting up again from 1 to 5 until the cycle stops, or will continue counting up if the trigger is held beyond the 5 seconds. The CID on the X26, however, counts down and stops counting after 5 seconds. It communicates this information to the operator via a small icon in the upper right corner of the CID. If no error icon is displayed, then there were no problems detected during the X26P internal diagnostic sequence, which occurs every time the safety switch is shifted to the up or armed position. If a major fault is detected, a triangle icon with an exclamation mark will appear in the CID. A major fault is a noticeable subsystem failure like a laser or flashlight failure. It could also be indicative of a problem with the data recording function. The X26P can still function and can still be used. If a critical fault is detected, however, an octagon with the exclamation point icon will appear in the CID. A critical fault indicates a system failure. The X26P at this point should not be used and should be sent back to Taser for repair. Those of the X26. The sighting options can only be accessed and changed when the safety switch is in the down or safe positions. There are 4 laser and light settings for the X26P device. The first is OO, which is when the device is in stealth mode and there's no laser and no flashlight available. In LO mode, the X26P device is laser only. In OF, there's flashlight only. And when it's in LF mode, the device has both laser and flashlight capability. In a safe direction, and shift the safety switch to the up or arm position. Press and release the selector switch to initiate stealth mode. To exit stealth mode, point the X26P in a safe direction, then press and release the selector switch or put the safety switch into the down or safe position to cancel stealth mode. The stealth mode cannot activate features that were turned off during configuration. If the X26P is configured to not use its flashlight or lasers, the stealth mode will not turn them on. Stealth mode is not an option on the X26 device. The X26P's standard power source is the Performance Power Magazine, or PPM. The PPM contains a battery of 3 3-volt lithium power cells. The PPM is non-rechargeable and stores enough power for approximately 500 5-second cycles. It's the same power source used in the Taser X2 device. The standard Performance Power Magazine has no grip extension and allows the operator to extend the cycle beyond 5 seconds by keeping the trigger depressed. There are actually several different versions of the Performance Power Magazine. The Automatic Shutdown Performance Power Magazine, or APPM, will automatically stop after a 5-second cycle, even if the trigger is held down past the cycle. The operator must press the trigger again to re-energize the fired cartridge. The APPM also has an audible tone that sounds at 4 seconds into the cycle to warn the operator that the cycle is about to end. If you remove the APPM and replace it with a different type of PPM, the X26P will return to its normal configuration. The Tactical PPM, or TPPM, features an extension with finger grip. The TPPM has no auto shutdown feature. The Taser Cam HD utilizes high-definition color video and functions similar to the original Taser Cam. The Taser Cam HD is available with or without the auto shutdown feature. The XPPM, or Extended Performance Power Magazine, is designed to provide the operator with an accessible storage location for a second cartridge. The XPPM has no auto shutdown feature. Note that the cartridge is facing forward versus the downward facing position of the cartridge in the XDPM for the X26. The forward facing position better acclimates the cartridge for reloading of the X26P, protects the blast doors, and is designed to contain the probes in the event of a static discharge. Here is an example of a Taser device utilizing an XPPM. Note that the blast doors are protected by the XPPM and the cartridge is aligned for improved performance for loading and reloading. Here is a picture of the Taser Cam HD. Please note that there's an approximate 2-second delay between when the safety switch is placed in the up or arm position and when the Taser Cam HD begins to record. This is a looped system. When the maximum recording time is reached, the system will loop around and begin to record over older videos. The frame rate and resolution are both independently adjustable through use of the Evidence Sync software. The maximum or highest setting will result in a 1-hour recording loop. At the medium level of resolution, you'll have approximately a 90-minute loop. The Taser Cam HD is available with an optional APPM configuration that performs identical to the APPM. The Taser Cam HD APPM will emit an alert sound during the last 2 seconds of the X26P cycle. The alert sound will override any ambient sound being recorded. The audio recording capability of the Taser Cam HD can be disabled by the agency through use of the Evidence Sync software. The Taser Cam HD system records both audio and video when the safety is in the up or arm position. Audio and video are configurable using Evidence Sync software. This means the video quality and record time can be adjusted, and the audio recording capability can also be shut off. These settings will not be changed by any officer of the department without the approval of a department supervisor or the chief of police. The X26P device constantly measures its output pulse by pulse to optimize the delivered charge and increase the likelihood of neuromuscular incapacitation. The X26P device records more data than the X26. We call these enhanced data logs the trilogy logs. They consist of an event log, a pulse log, and an engineering log. Information for the most recent 2,000 discharges is recorded. The event log records the date and time every time the safety switch is shifted to the upper arm position on the X26P and when the trigger is pulled. It also logs the duration of each cycle, the internal temperature of the weapon, the battery strength at the time of discharge, and what time the safety switch was put in the down or safe position. The pulse log records the output of each pulse. This log can help determine if the CEW output was within specifications and if and when an electrical circuit was completed. The engineering log is for use by Taser engineers to diagnose if the X26P device was operating properly during an event. 26P device firing data can be uploaded to evidence.com via Evidence Sync. Evidence Sync software may be used to download firing data to local computers as well. Evidence Sync can be downloaded free of charge from www.taser.com. Please note that the terms upload and download are not interchangeable for the purposes of transferring data to either evidence.com or to a local computer. Upload refers to the data that is being sent to evidence.com. Download refers to the data that is being sent to a local computer from the Evidence Sync software. Evidence.com Lite, a free service for uploading the trilogy logs from Taser X2, X26P, and X26 devices. You must use evidence.com to recover the trilogy logs from an X26P. A screenshot involving the Evidence Sync upload from an X26P device. This will give you an example of the type of information that is available using Evidence Sync from evidence.com. Of an X26P download to a local computer. The X26P download indicates the date and time when the safety switch on the X26P device is shifted to the up or arm position, when the trigger is pulled, and the duration of the firing cycle. It also records the internal temperature of the weapon, the battery strength, and when the safety switch is returned to the down or safe position. This is connected to a local computer that has access to your evidence.com account. The device information page will open up and Evidence.com will notify you if a more current version of the X26P operating firmware is available for your device. All you need to do at that point is click on the Update Firmware button, and the new firmware will be downloaded to your X26P in just a few seconds. The X26P operating firmware updates can also be downloaded to a local computer from Taser.com. The computer must have Evidence Sync installed to download the operating firmware. The updated firmware can then be downloaded to your devices by connecting them to the computer, opening Evidence Sync, and clicking the Update Firmware button on the device information page. Time to view this training video. This training video will meet the classroom requirement for initial certification and recertification for use of the X26P device. You may now go to the Notre Dame College Police Department online in-service training website and take the exam associated with this course. If you have any questions concerning this course, the contents, or on training concerning the X26P device, please contact the department's Taser instructor or a representative of the training division.